Hi, my name's Tom Wilmot and I'm running for re-election as Student Activities Officer. I think I'm the best person for the job because obviously I'm already in the post at the moment. I've got a good working relationship with both the staff in the Students' Union and the staff in the university. And I'm also really pleased with what we've achieved in the ARC this year. It's been a really difficult year for the Students' Union as a whole, and I think the ARC really has been one of the shining lights within the Students' Union. So please re-elect Tom Wilmot as your Student Activities Officer.
Okay, thanks for coming in, Tom. Taking time in a busy day, I assume. A critic would say you haven't achieved anything this year as the incumbent SAB. What would you say to that?
I'd ask them to look at the achievements that I submitted to Student Parliament the other day.
I mean, you put the national demo down on that, but
Well, I put the national demo down. I was pleased with the national demo. I feel like it was an achievement that the whole sabbatical team worked with. I do realise that Owen Jones was the main person on that. I think I've achieved lots this year. I'm pleased with the Leicester Award. I think that's gone really well, which I wrote over the summer. I'm pleased with the development of Team Leicester as a brand. We've got a meeting tomorrow night with all the club captains.
So sorry, the Leicester Award thing. All you do is copy what the education team did last year, course reps, and just change the name from course rep to sport club captain.
It actually took a lot longer than I thought it would, because with the education unit, it's very easy to log the hours that they're doing. But when it comes to society presidents and sports team captains, you have to take a lot of other things into account. Like, for instance, getting a team together doesn't necessarily take that long physically, hours-wise, but it's very difficult and very draining, and you have to have you have to be good at time management in order to make that happen. It also needs to take account of things like leadership on sports fields and also when you're running an event. So actually there was quite a lot that we had to change in order to make it work.
Okay, so under your tenure, the Music Association has had budgets cut so drastically they might have to fold at the end of this year, and sports teams can't even afford to send their teams to play a match because they haven't got any travel budget left. That's not a very good track record, Tom.
Well, I think if you look at how much money we give music associations this year, the Music Association as a whole has received more money than we've ever given it before. The money that was cut by the university. Now, I've spent the last 3 months lobbying the university, trying to get that money back. I've taken the matter straight to the Vice Chancellor because I think it's really important. Music's very dear to my heart. I'm a musician myself, and I want to get that money back. If we cannot get that money back, I'm actually sitting down with the Music Association tomorrow. And we're going to have to look at external sponsorship deals, and I think that goes across the board really in this difficult time financially. I think we're going to have to look at that.
This doesn't cover sports fans. My own club, I've got to pay for my own travel to play to go in a cross country race. I mean, that just seems one of the fundamental things of getting them from A to B to play a match. It seems like harsh, Tom. They already spent quite a lot of money joining the club in the first.
Well, obviously. You'll appreciate that this is a decision that was very difficult for me to make. It's affected me personally. I play sport at the university, and I'm funding myself to go travel to away games. It's a decision that we had to make because of the financial climate. That it became apparent that we had to make savings, and the amount of money that we had to save just happened to be the amount of money that travel.
You're not really budgeting them, I guess.
It wasn't anything to do with the budget that the ARC did themselves. The issue wasn't with the charitable side of the Students' Union. The issue was that other aspects that were budgeted to make money didn't make quite as much money as they were budgeted to make.
Seems like you're passing the buck. You know, it's not your fault. The Music Association that money, that's the Vice Chancellor or the university's fault. It's not your fault. Sports had a big cut because that's the bars and ends' fault. I mean, why don't you stand up and maybe take criticism yourself?
Well, I would absolutely take criticism myself if it was my fault, but there's no way I would ever want to cut my societies and my sports teams. I'm always lobbying to try and get as much money as possible for them, and there's no way that I would ever take money away from them if at all possible. The decisions that we've had to make were really difficult and were really hard, but as a team, the ARC have stepped up and we've made those decisions. And we think that going forward, the budget will be back to normal next year, and we're confident that the sports club's fundraising accounts will see them through this year, and next year we'll be back to normal.
So the National Union of Students President has stepped down because he says, gone through a turbulent time, now it needs some fresh blood to come in to take the movement forward in a new environment. Don't you think the same for you? Move on.
I think actually, when it comes to a sabbatical team, I found it really useful this year having 2 incumbent sabbatical officers there. What it meant was at the start of the year we had someone that we could go to, and they knew the ropes, they knew who we could approach in university. They had these working relationships that we could tap in onto, and it really made us settle in quicker, I feel, than if we had all been a fresh sabbatical team. So actually, I think it's quite important to keep a little bit of continuity.
Can some staff do that? I mean, some staff have been here for decades. They must know.
Well, the relationship between the staff and the staff and the sabbaticals and the staff is certainly different, and there are differences that staff wouldn't necessarily get that sabbatical officers. For instance, we can go to the university and we can be really blunt in a meeting and say this is what we want, and if they're not doing it, we can tell them how we feel about it. A staff member would feel a little bit different about that, and I feel having Owen and Kate there this year has made it. They've really taught us that and shown us how we can interact within the university, and I don't think we would get that from a full-time staff member.
Okay, so some people in your part have been very critical, saying that you haven't done enough this year, and there's certain parts lacking, and they have some little confidence in you going forward. Is that a fair assumption, or is that a bit harsh? I
think that's very harsh. I think the ARC's been really successful this year. I think we've got, if you look at the amount of sports, the amount of societies that we've set up, we've got well over 100 societies now. We've set up about 20 societies this year, from the pole dancing society to the feminist society, from fishing society to, I've not turned one society down this year. A few of them we've had to tweak the constitutions a little bit, but I've always made sure that we've set them up. With regards to sport's been fantastic this year. We've got the Sport Leicester meeting, which I sit on with the university staff, and I really think that it's a really exciting time in student activities. I think it's been a really good year.
You haven't mentioned media groups because you don't care. I mean, looking at the media suite, I'd assume you just shove them in a room somewhere and let them go with it.
The thing with media groups is that they do tend to run themselves a lot, and that's because they are experts in their field. I mean, there's no point in me going up to the head of Lust and saying you should be doing it this way, because I don't know. I'm not.
Why don't we get someone in who does know then?
Because if you get someone in that knows everything, then you should vote them in. If you've got someone who is a sportsman, a media person, a societies person, they know how to do the radio, the ripple, they play sport, then fair dues. But I don't think you'll find that, and I think that if you do find that, then there's no point in having media heads, to be honest. I think they are elected because they have expertise in those fields.
Sure. Oh, well, thanks so much for coming in, Tom, and good luck in your campaign.
Thank you very much.